Thank you, Sala. Next, we have Carmen Tejera, who is an art history teacher at the Art School of Algeciras. She has a PhD in the didactics of heritage, and her paper today will focus on the results of the research carried out for her doctoral thesis.
Okay. Good afternoon. This paper outlines with the results of the research carried out in my doctoral thesis, which deals with virtual art museums from an educational approach. The study focuses on the educational websites and their interactive learning activities, considered as a didactic resource for teaching and learning artistic heritage. My presentation has 4 sections: theoretical framework, cybermuseography, classification of the activities, and conclusions. The theoretical framework stems from an educational conception based on inquiry that establishes 3 didactic models according to the methodology used: traditional, activist, and investigative. These models have been designed for the context of formal learning, so the aim of this work is to apply this classification to the scope of virtual museums. The traditional model is the most widespread, and its goals are the instillment and reproduction of contents, which have been presented in a transmissive way. The activist model focuses on activities instead of contents, and it proposes a methodology based on free expression and constant activity. Finally, the investigative model is founded in research as the leading way of learning. Internet was quickly adopted by museums from the beginning, but it doesn't imply an adaptation of didactic models to learning environments. Therefore, it's necessary to state a didactic of ICT, derived from an alternative model based on research, which promotes interactivity as one of its guiding principles. The field related to virtual museums from an educational approach can be called didactic cybermuseography. A scope comprises of aspects of school, museum, and internet learning. Virtual museums have been classified in 3 categories according to their educational projection: informative, expositive, and interactive. Informative museums stress the real character of the institution, and they restrain their offering to some information about visiting the museum, its masterpieces, and the learning activities organized presentially, so Internet has a subsidiary role. It has a section that can be called educational section, and it shows the presential learning activities they offer in the physical museum. Expositive ones contain museums that conceive the Internet as an independent sphere, but compatible with the actual museum. These museums promote multimedia and online activities, even though from an expositive viewpoint. They keep an educational section with downloadable learning materials to the offline, and introduce a multimedia section with expositive multimedia materials. These materials include online collection, virtual visit, and channels of podcasting and videocasting. Interactive museums held an educational website with interactive learning activities, and they are the only ones that take advantage of the didactic possibilities of the Internet, mixing online, multimedia, and interactivity. These activities rely on the educational use of text, images, audio, and video, built on a Flash animation or an HTML page.
Buongiorno, dude.
Okay. The study is restrained to the last category, interactive museums. As a result of the research, a categorization of didactic models in cybermuseography has been accomplished, and a taxonomy of activities and tasks belonging to each model has been proposed. The sample has been taken from worldwide directories of virtual museums or found through serendipity, although the main source for clearing the scope has been the yearly list Best of the Web, compiled by Museums and the Webs in 1997. Museums that show a traditional didactic model are characterized by a transmissive methodology. Its goal is that users acquire and reproduce some fact through repeating and learning by heart. The learning process is not based on problems, but on academic contents coming from art history. They prioritize description of the artworks, and they focus on artists' biographies and artistic styles. These activities can be classified in 4 categories. Artistic knowledge is based on retaining facts about artworks and assesses the information memorized by questions, which can be classified in 5 kinds of tags. Test quizzes can be presented like multiple choice or true-false test, showing the answer in words or images. Question consists in asking questions with free response or a fixed answer, which offers the chance of being corrected. Crossword proposes filling the blanks with artistic terms. Word search displays a similar starting point as the latter, relying on finding artistic concepts among the puzzle. Parts and Whole matches every artistic term with its image, mainly centered in architecture or armory. The painter and their work join some tags that relate artists to their artworks. Matching artists and artworks implies finding the correct title of the work or telling some artists' works apart. Recognizing works of an artist is focused on an artist and consists of choosing which work they have done among a bigger selection. Stylistic evolution suggests ordering a group of works chronologically in time. Chronology is mainly based on ordering the artworks in time or in the lifetime of an artist. Stylistic features recalls the attention in the school or the style of each work, considering variation within a style. Secrets of the Art proposes decoding the meaning of the different elements in the work of art. Symbols explains the meaning of an image or a text highlighted by hot spots. Sound introduces audio by reproducing the sounds made by the elements of the artworks. Museums with an active didactic model bring a recurring and procedural learning based on art history. There is little connection between activities and contents, and their methodology is supported upon acquiring and developing skills with no meaningful learning involved. These museums use a huge variety of multimedia resources up to date with the newest technologies. Most of them have an active profile in social networks and have developed apps for mobile learning. These activities are divided into 5 categories. Retention of the work promotes an aesthetic idea of the artwork and its routinian character, as they consist of memorizing the image of the work and remembering afterwards. They are classified in 4 groups. Puzzle places the pieces to reveal the image of an artwork with a square, fitted, figurative, or sliding ones. Memory game consists in matching fragments of work that are displayed upside down. Differences contrast 2 versions of the same work in order to find the changes in one of them, and sometimes guessing which is fake. Recognizing elements suggests identifying a work from a part of the whole or choosing elements from the complete artwork. Artistic techniques is a category of activities that encourage artistic and creative skills by the computer. Paint shows a screen to paint on ink using brushes, sprays, or even the movement caught by the webcam. Design plans to build a prototype of a person, an object, or a scenery by picking and combining the option given by the museum. Collage proposes to create an image from shapes, geometrical forms, or objects derived from artworks. Reproduce groups tasks that simulate some artistic processes as restoring, digging, printing, or sculpting. Creativity extends this capability to other arts such as literature and music. Literary encourages writing composition, poetry, or plays based on an artwork that can be sent to the virtual museum. Musical proposes to compose musical pieces using the keyboard displayed on the screen. Formal Elements gathers activities that analyze formal aspects of the work of art, classified in 4 categories. Color is based in telling apart primary and secondary colors or coloring blank drawings based on a painting. Material is centered on the texture and the hardness of the materials, mainly in sculpture. Size consists in showing the work compared to other elements, like human figures, in order to appreciate its real size. Composition analyzes how elements are arranged on the surface of a painting or in the space surrounding a sculpture. Virtual visit is a category close to the investigative model, although its viewpoint is more ludic than didactic. Video games offer casual games completely performed by the internet, up for unskilled users. Guided visit takes the user through an itinerary in the museum, guided by an avatar or a voice-over that explains the collection in a friendly and enjoyable way. Adventure mystery in the museum keeps the format of the guided visit, but introduces an element of fantasy or challenge with the aim of motivating the user. Museums ascribed to an investigative model stem from turning contents into problems, with a view to achieving meaningful learning through research. It stimulates interdisciplinary connections as a way of reaching a desirable knowledge building. These websites show a high degree of interactivity, mixing of offline and online activities, which lead to comprehensive learning. A widespread format is the web quest, an investigative approach to learning by internet that balances entertainment and education. These activities can be categorized in 4 groups as steps in a process of learning building based on inquiry. Research in the museum is a common activity in the investigative model, which can adopt 2 options according to the involvement of the user. In immersion in the story, the user pretends to play a role in the story as a character in the past, or a curator, an archaeologist, or a detective in the present. In guided research, the user looks into the problem as a social researcher without adopting any feigned role. Information treatment comprises tasks that foster processing the fact, from accessing to the website to solving the problem. Quest searches for information about artworks or museum websites. Bookmarks keeps the favorite links. Files save facts taken from the internet or the work done by the user. Summary consists in processing the information of the website according to the problem set out. Problem solving comprises tasks related to cognitive capabilities that lead to the solution of the problems. Identify consists in choosing an answer depending on some requirements, not on memorized data. Associate shares some aspect of the latter, but is tried to relate series of elements according to a specific criteria. Categorize distribute some elements that share some features into groups. Rank order series of elements gradually, depending on different premises. Result communication includes tags that show the progress in the research and the conclusions reached. Presentation is a document that shows a predominance of image over text, like a slide presentation, a storyboard, or a conceptual map. Report is a paper with a prevalence of text over image, like an essay or a dossier. Exposition relies on oral communication of the result, based on speech, group debates, interviews, and podcasts done by the public. The study has shown a predominance of activist museums, followed by traditional and a significant number of investigative ones, which points to an increasing range of virtual art museums adopting didactic principles. Moreover, they are designing their activities since an innovative standpoint, showing a higher concern about the learning role of museums. The use of these websites has been implemented in the educational setting where I work, the School of Arts of Algeciras, Spain, by the means of multimedia didactic materials, which include a huge amount of links with learning activities of virtual art museums. Finally, I would like to express my gratitude to the committee for approving my proposal and allowing me to take part in such a relevant meeting in this charming town and in this wonderful venue. Thank you.